And make sure that as you keep on praying, continue hunting, because God will not bring the lady to you. It is you to go out and hunt. So as you keep on praying and you are hunting, God will bring you to who is best for you and for your life. My message to the young people: first, depend on God. In everything that you do, in everything that you think about God first. You see, the problem with many young people, even when they come to the time that now they are mature enough to select their spouses or their partners in life, is when they put God aside and they decide to go by themselves. And where there is no God inclusive, things will fall apart. So we need God first. As young men and women, we need God first. Where does this begin? First, it begins with prayer. When you discover that you have reached an age where that you want to separate yourselves from parents and you want to start your own family, first begin with prayer. Number two, there is this issue of dating. You want somebody, you have seen that somebody after prayer. And as you keep on praying, because you don't stop praying as you start hunting one for you. And at what stage do you need to hunt one? When you have finished your high school, you have finished your college, it is the right time for you, because you will never be distracted from your focus in life. Remember, the first thing that is focused in life is education. When you discover that you are done with education, and maybe if you need an employment, you can go for it, you are stable, you have everything ready, then you are prepared for a spouse. And so in number one, in the spouse, you need to do what we call dating. Dating, you don't tell someone you love her. It is a general friendship. You begin with a spouse of the opposite sex. And when you begin this, it can run for several weeks or several months, even a year. And then when you discover that this person is sweet, this one can be compatible. At least it's somebody who comes from the background you like. You like the posture, the physical appearance, education level. You like the beauty of this individual and the reasoning of this individual. Then you propose. Immediately you propose and she says yes or no, or she says yes, then that's where we start courtship. Courtship begins where you propose, I love you, and then she responds, I love you too. Now she has known that you are real for her. Because before you propose, normally she walks naturally without noticing anything. And she thinks that you are just general friends. And so when you are general friends, somebody cannot pretend. He becomes him or herself the way he or she is. If it is eating, she will eat normally, or he eats normally. If it is dressing, he will dress normally, respectably. But when it comes to someone who has known that you love him or her, then things change. Courtship begins there. And the courtship should run for 6 months minimum. Let it not be less than 6 months minimum. That is the minimum number of months for somebody who is courting. What do you discuss in courtship? Discuss about education. Discuss about where you want to stay as a family, how many kids you want to father to this world or to raise in this world, where do you want to put your home, what do you want to do in life as a source of income to make your family stable economically. This is the time you discuss how many brothers and sisters do you have? Are your parents alive? Do you have any disease? Do you have any genealogical disease or a problem from your family? background. This is the time you know all the relatives from the lady's side and from the guy's side. This is the time you understand each other. This is the time you understand the taste of this individual. Like for instance, the dressing code of this person, the type of food he likes, the dislikes and likes of this individual, the do's and undo's of this individual. And then you make the right decision. Ellen G. White says you can break courtship, but you cannot break marriage. Even engagement, you can break it. After the engagement, after this courtship has run its rightful time of more than 6 months, you enter into another phase we call engagement. Engagement is where you go to introduce yourself to the parents of the lady and to your parents. You introduce the lady to your parents. So in other words, you are involving other parties. That is the parents or the relatives, let me say the family of the man and the family of the lady. They know about your friendship. This is the time when you are going to give them a leeway to know each other and at the same time pay the dowry. And from there we come to marriage. And after marriage, then we enter into what we call honeymoon, and then life begins there. But my advice to many young men and women is that before you do anything, make sure that you have put God first in everything, and make sure that as you keep on praying, continue hunting, because God will not bring the lady to you. It is you to go out and hunt. So as you keep on praying and you are hunting, God will bring you to who is best for you and for your life. In this life, make sure that when you are discussing and when you are growing in love, don't rush, because you will crash. Don't ever make a mistake in your courtship. You sleep with that lady or with that gentleman, because for sure you will break. You will never end well. If for sure this is your partner for life, then be faithful to yourself and let her or him be faithful to himself or to herself, so that this marriage is going to create what we call trust. Because at the end of it all, we need trust, where you trust your lady, you trust your wife to be, or your wife, and then you trust your partner, if I can put that one, just to generalize. When you trust your individual, then it means even if he goes, or you leave that individual and you go for 2 to 3 months or for even 1 year, still that person will always be faithful until you come back. But the moment you start testing, then you have opened the way that she can go outside, or he can go outside, be tested by others. So she will become a litmus paper. And this is very dangerous for a marriage. And that's why you find many men and women walking out of their marriage, because they started it early, before the right time. My prayer and my advice to young men and women, please take time. Another thing I would want to say, make sure that you also seek advice. No any king will go to war without getting many pieces of advice. Get advice from elderly, experienced people who are faithful and who have stable families. Get pieces of advice from them. Another thing, before you take a step to get a partner, ask your parents, if I go to this tribe, if I go to this country, if I go to this family, if I go to this kind of culture, will you accept me to get somebody from there? If your parents give you a leeway, then you can take a step. But if they tell you no, don't say I will go, because at the end of it all, you will remain alone and you will carry your own funeral. Your parents will be watching will watch you from a distance when you will be going through troubles and problems. My prayer for you is that always make sure that you stand to what you believe is right. Put God first in everything. Be somebody who always minds about your spouse. Think about the future. You will build together as individuals of a family. What kind of a family do you want to raise? What kind of a culture do you want your children to embrace? If you want the right culture, then you make sure that you embrace the right culture from the Word God. don't rush in anything. Always make sure that you go slow as you keep on praying. Kneel down. If you want your family to be a prayer warriors who believe in prayer, then begin it as two individuals who become one flesh. And what God joins, then nobody will put asunder. Remember, once you come together and you become spouses or partners in this journey of family, there is no separation, because what God has joined, nobody should put asunder. God's intention from the beginning of creation is that men and women stay together as a family, as one flesh. I wish you all the best, young men and women, as you go around looking for one to be part and sweet for your family. Make sure that you put God first in everything, and everything shall be well. May God bless you. May God keep you. Keep on keeping on. Thank you.